My very beautiful, although crikey, very yellow, Hoover Sensotronic Total System 40 is still here. It's very nice. The machine itself isn't doing too badly. Sadly, however, the same cannot be said for the tools. I took these out of storage a while ago, and underneath this tape, which I daren't remove yet, is a big old split in the hose where I took it out of the loft where it had been curled up nice and loosely in a box, and I put the ones on, put the floors on, and left it sat for a week and did that. Well, the hose just went, sadly. And then the second thing that happened was when I pulled it out of the loft, this bit stayed behind. This bit came with, and I've already glued it and it's there, but it's not going to be usable. So today let's try and fix both of these and keep my old Sensotronic from succumbing to the sad passages of time. Let's have a look. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? Yes, sadly time is getting to the Hoover Sensotronic, and probably does explain completely why there are machines about, you see them crop up on eBay, but with no tools at all. That is because I would imagine that far long ago, if you used it regularly, I mean just on camera, this should be a nice silver, and it's just gold, isn't it? It's awful. Bless it. Yeah, they just do not last. And one did come up on eBay a little while ago, and it was a £5. But then apparently somebody emailed the seller. I'd asked about postage because it was up in Scotland. She had it as collection only, and I've got a friend in Scotland, so I could have gone and had it fetched from Glasgow. He's only up the road. But yeah, no, she then got told apparently what it was and how much it was worth, and suddenly it reappeared, or the price changed to £25 with postage. Then it disappeared completely. That is how rare and, you know, sought after these hoses are. So yeah, there's very little chance of finding one, and the problem is there's also a very big chance that you'll spend a lot of money on one that's just as bad as the one that you're trying to repair. So it's a bit of a conundrum. Yes, Felix, what's wrong? Yeah, we're undoing all the screws in the handle because we need to get the hose out in order to look at the first little problemette. I'm actually wondering if I've done this the right end, because thinking about it, I forgot. It's been a while since I've had this apart. I've forgotten how much room we have to play with, and I think the other end is a bit slim. But we're only one screw away now. Where's that? Go on. Step up. Step up, Felix. No, right, we'll shut up then. Step up or shut up. Yes, I forget how thin this needs to be in order for this to work, but come on, no, you need to come out. Oh, why are you not coming out? Because there's a tab there. Let me fetch a more appropriate screwdriver. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've had this apart. Oh, what? Let me remind myself how to take this bottom plate off. Excellent. So with all that off, there were two tabs on the front that I've forgotten about, and the cables cut, which they need to be to remove this, because it's all one piece from the plug. And I've had it apart before because I've had it off before when I refurbished this thing. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, in fact, no, I did Q-bond it as well. So you can see there, look, it literally just shattered itself. It just, you know, cracked, and off it went. But problem is, obviously, the only real way to fix this is with tape, I suppose. It's a perfectly reasonable fix. What? Shush. Have an envelope to play with, Felix. Because I bought some of this. which turned up after a little while, far longer than things normally take to get from Swindon. And then, yeah, I saw the address it came from, which was China. But hey-ho, this is supposedly clear plastic heat shrink, the sort of stuff that they use to, like, cover batteries and stuff. And what I'm vaguely, roughly hoping, no, it won't even fit over. Oh, that's a pain. It would fit over the really? I measured the widest point of this. Let me see if I can get it on the other end. Otherwise, well, that was pointless. We've got to put the tape back on. Some considerable time later, because eBay seems to default let you buy stuff from flipping a different country, even when you tick the show me stuff only in my country option. I bought 3 different sizes because I didn't want to get caught in the same trap that we did with this stuff. And I don't even know if this is going to work, and it's taken me months so far put this flipping video together. But hey ho, we have a good option now. Let's go get our falling to bits hose and work out which size we need. Now it's all rolled up that way, and I think this is the smallest, going by that, and I think this is going to be too big anyway. Ugh. We'll see though, because it'll need to shrink down, and obviously I can cover quite a bit of the hose in it as well. So, cut this down. How far should we go? Let's go to there, and then we can overlap it a little bit on here. I've no idea how this stuff is going to behave, or even how much and what sort of heat source we need. Guess we'll find out shortly. So, in theory, I want to sort of do that. You can go over there. So let me go find, we'll start with a low source of heat, and then, well, I've got a heat gun somewhere, so we can go a little bit higher should we need. We'll start with the hairdryer. Yes, my Tinko Motor 1, still going well. Kids love it. Getting a little bit scratched up now where it's been knocked around and bashed around. But, you know, it's still doing very, very well indeed. 0 complaints so far, bar the app, which is pretty pointless because, well, you can't change too much. So we'll hold that roughly straight. Turn it on, put it in that. See how this stuff sticks down. Oh, there we go. Hello. Hello. Oh yeah. That went phenomenally better than expected, although, it's not very flexible now. Oh, crikey. So it's probably going to split elsewhere now, but I suppose it wasn't fully sold as a flexible heat shrink. It was, just again, it's for holding batteries together. But, you know, I'm going to have to be careful with it now anyway. That only split because it was held up by the wand. I mean, this stuff, that bit's fairly flexible still. Didn't do it any more than that. But, you know, it has done the job. I suppose I could cut it a bit further down, but we'll leave it for now. It doesn't look as jarring as having a colour. So, crikey, we've got plenty left over to repair some more stuff. Let's pop the hose back together and see how it looks then. All back together with our repaired hose. I did reinforce the other end just a little bit while both ends were apart, so hey, who knows, it might work. Don't really have much other option at the minute, so with the hose in the machine, hey, airtight. Awesome! Right, one fixed bodged hose. Now on to the next problem with this machine, which did occur because I dropped something. And it is the Turbo 300 head. Again, a part that's pretty impossible to find at all, and I dropped it when it was connected to the wands. It wasn't that high, it sort of slipped from here down to the floor and snapped the neck clean off. I did glue it back on, but I just don't trust it as a fix at all, sadly. I mean, it's still there now because obviously I've not used it, but since all the strain for the whole thing is on there, we gotta fix that as well. I'm gonna not blame age for this. I think it's just brittle and a lot of weight on one little joint, and yeah, well, I dropped it with the hose and the wands connected. All the weight brought it crashing down, sadly. So let's get this part out so it's a bit easier to look at. Going to be a lot easier to work with now. Here is the sort of suction inlet part, really, and here is a piece. It's actually the end of a Dyson DC27. I think this came from the scrapper DC27, and the idea is that that sort of fits in there. And what I'm hoping to do is to tap it down to there. Now obviously I've just broken that off, but that is not actually the end of the world, because this needs to come through here a bit so I can then flatten the ends and basically get it into there. So I'm going to get that done now. There's a theme with this video. It's called waiting for ages in between doing little bits of filming, but it's done. Now it hasn't quite gone as, I'm going to say, prettily as I'd imagined, because obviously my initial glue repair did break, and indeed it started to split hammering this bit of metal into it. Possibly could have measured it a bit better and bought something more appropriate, but it's done. I mean, a fair bit of epoxy around there could sand that back and make it smoother, although once it's in the head you probably won't see it. And then in here, look, got the bit of metal in there and then filled the surround with epoxy. And I'm fairly sure that I would break, you know, this housing before breaking this part from now on. Oh, it's ugly. I'm not proud of it, but equally it's done the job. I mean, you know, if you know where you can buy these, please comment below, which means that I'm not going to see any comments because you can't buy them anymore. I know I have put the part numbers from the service manual into everywhere before. There's just no chance unless you happen upon another Turbo 300. These are the sort of things that you have to do, and I don't think there's any reason to be ashamed of it at all. It's like me, it's ugly, but it does the job very well indeed. So, I'm going to put this back together and then we can give it a test. Here we go then. So, we have the machine itself. We have repaired. I'm happy enough with it. It's a bit of a shame that this doesn't move. I mean, comment down below, is there perhaps something else I should buy? This is heat shrink meant for batteries. So yeah, when you heat shrink together 6 1650A cells, that's what it is. So it's not flexible, but equally it's not torn either now. So we shall pop that in there. Then fit our wands. Nothing wrong with the wands, thankfully. Although they are getting a little bit corroded. Again, storage. That's okay, you know. It still flows okay. I don't know when it's going to break the other end, but what can you do? And then our Turbo 300. Not going to smash this around because the epoxy will still be drying. Although it's more than strong enough for just a quick go around here. So we'll put the cable on, plug it in, and this is where I have to hope that I have done my soldering correctly. Yeah! No! Wow! Ooh, what's happened there? Oh, that's a pain. Ooh. That's nothing that we've done, so look, it's broken itself in another weird and wonderful way. Let me try and work out what it's done. After going to all of that effort, spending all that money and taking all this time, it's now not pushing out any voltage from the power hose connector. We had that brief blip and then nothing, so I don't know. I'm calling it here. This video can go out. How many of you had this before on a Hoover Sensotronic? Maybe they all did it, and that's why they're just not very popular anymore. I'm not entirely sure. I can't quite be bothered to take the board out and have a look right this precise second. We got the hose fixed and at least it's usable as a straight suction machine. I'm going to go and do some research, and hey, who knows, we might revisit this one day. But until then, I very sadly thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, although quite what there was to enjoy, I'm not entirely sure now. And maybe this, will see you soon. Disappointingly, bye bye.